Beyond the Jordan. Biblical wisdom for today's lesson. He made a dry path through the Red Sea, and his people went across on foot. There we rejoiced in him. Psalm 66, verse 6. Both the crossing of the Red Sea and of the Jordan are markers of a new era in biblical history, and both carry symbolic significance. See Psalm 66, verse 6, Psalms 114, verses 1-7, and 2 Kings 2, verses 6-15. Already in the Old Testament, there are texts that link the two crossing events and recognize a meaning, which points beyond the original settings. In Psalm 66, the psalmist celebrated God's redemptive act in his life, Psalm 66, verses 16-19, by referring to the historical examples of the crossing of the Red Sea and of the Jordan. Psalm 114 also ties the two events together, not because the author did not see a chronological difference between them, but because of the theological significance that the two crossings share. Thus, both events are seen as contributing to a change in Israel's status, once from slavery to freedom, then from nomadic landlessness to nationhood. In these psalms, the examples of the two crossings illustrate the change in status of the author from oppression, poverty, helplessness, and humiliation to safety, well-being, salvation, and dignity. It is also by the Jordan that Elijah's translation takes place in the context of a similar miracle to the one recorded in Joshua. For Elijah, the crossing brought the most significant status change in his life. He was taken to heaven. For Elisha, the change is also important. The prophet's assistant, 1 Kings 19, verse 21, becomes the prophet of the nation, 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 22. After his baptism, as Jesus came up out of the water, the heavens were opened, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and settling on him. And a voice from heaven said, "This is my dearly loved Son, who brings me great joy." Matthew 3, verses 16 and 17. One day Jesus came from Nazareth in Galilee, and John baptized him in the Jordan River. Mark chapter 1, verse 9. How do these writers of the New Testament imply a symbolic, spiritual meaning of the Jordan River? The earthly ministry of Jesus, as the representative of Israel, follows the pattern of the history of ancient Israel. Jesus undergoes the Red Sea and Jordan experiences. He is called out of Egypt after a death decree, Matthew 2, verses 14-16, spends 40 days in the wilderness, Matthew 4, verse 2, similar to ancient Israel's 40 years, and as a transition from his private life to his public ministry, he is baptized in the Jordan, Matthew 3, verses 16 and 17, and Mark 1, verse 9. Later, Hebrews 3 and 4 recognizes the symbolic significance of the crossing of the Jordan and presents the entrance into Canaan as foreshadowing the rest of grace that Christians enter through faith.